welcome back to CWM University, where we learn together. And today, we're gonna learn how to fly. As of today, the TSA workers are now getting paid again. And if you are a TSA worker, I just want to tell you, thank you so much for your service. Thank you for every day you come to work and make sure that we are safe in the sky. We really do appreciate you. Now stop playing with those folks' money and pay them all the time, every time, never stop. Oh, okay. Flying for the first time could feel like preparing to go to space. Except nobody gives you a manual. What to do at the airport, how to book your flight, and why are there so many lines? Don't worry, by the end of this video, you'll be able to book a flight and walk in the airport like you've done it plenty of times. First thing, we need to go over how to actually book a flight. Go ahead and go to Google and type in Google Flights. Once you get there, you want to type in first what airport you're leaving. If you live in a big city, you may have 2 airports. So you might want to Google which airport is closest to you. Once you figure out what airport you're leaving and what airport you want to land in, then you can worry about the dates. So we're going to put in that our departure date is May 6th and we're going to come back on May 13th. Just picking random dates. You pick whatever dates you want to fly on and we'll click search. So once we click search, you want to look at the prices, maybe what the airlines are. I'm going to go with United just because, not that they're better than anybody else. And I want to make sure that whatever flight I pick, I like nonstop flights. I don't want to chill in another airport or do a connecting flight. So when it's nonstop and I agree with the time, I click on that. And then I can look at the price. I'm good with that price. And then I can decide if I want to do basic economy, or economy that could be fully refunded. I ask myself, am I for sure going to go on this trip? If I am, I go with the basic stuff. But you don't have to. Just read what options they give you and you decide which one is best for you. I'm going to go with basic economy. And then you fill out all the information, travel information, and everything they ask you. And then I always check the price again to make sure it was what they said from the beginning. And then, of course, you want to read about basic economy, what you don't get, what you have to pay for, to make sure you're good with that. And at the bottom, they always try to get you to upgrade to Economy Plus. You have to decide what you want to do. Then you click what you on the economy, and then you move forward with the process, which you're going to have to put in some type of payment. I go to Google Flights first, and then whatever the price is there, I then go to the company website and double check. Like, do y'all have something special over there that y'all offering? If I book through you all, some credit cards offer you some discounts if you book through the website with your credit card. You just have to know if your credit card offers you that. But I like to check Google Flights versus the company's website. So I'm going to go type in united.com and go straight to United. Then I want to enter my information. I'm going from IH and I'm going to Charlotte, North Carolina. And then I'm going to click in my dates. We want to go from May 6th to May 13th. And I want to search for flights. So I click find flights. And then I'm going to look at the prices to see. I want to see about the 259 flight. So I'm going to keep scrolling down until I see that economy says that it's going to be 259. So I keep going down. I click that. I see that nonstop 259. Click on that. You can read through that just in case you want to check a different type. But I'm going to go with basic and click select. And then I want to get my returning flight. I want it to be nonstop and I want it to be in that 259 range. So which time would I be okay with? I'm going to go with the midday time and click select. And then I'm going to read through all of that to see if I'm good with basic. Checking my dates, checking my city where I'm flying from and to. You fill out all that information. And then they'll have things like if you want to lock in a price or not. And you can check the amount and you can continue if you want. Now, the prices that you saw on the screen will not be prices that will still be there when you watch this video. I am recording this in advance. So just make sure that you go to those sites and just look for the prices that they have at the time. Sometimes when you book flights, the earlier you book it, the better the prices. And sometimes it's not true. You just have to check it and just see what they have to offer at that time that you're looking at your flights. Flight is booked and it's May 5th and you're packing your suitcase. You do want to check and see what are things you can and cannot bring in your suitcase, which you can find that on the website that you booked your flight. And if you're going to do a carry-on, you definitely want to check to see what can be in your carry-on, because you get to the airport and you have something that's too big or the liquids are too much, they will throw your stuff away. I promise you. Straight to the trash. They won't think twice. Now that you're prepared and you're not stressed out, it is May 6th and it's time to get on that flight. You want to make sure you know how you get into the airport. Is somebody going to drop you off? Are you going to take a Lyft or Uber? How long is your distance from the airport so you can, plan the time to get there? And then you want to check those wait times. You can go on Google and look up wait times for any airport, and it'll tell you how long you will potentially have to wait in line before you can get through TSA to go find your flight. They recommend that you arrive 2 hours ahead of time if you're flying domestically. That means within the United States. 3 hours ahead of time if you're flying internationally. But it's up to you. I don't like to wait in the airport, so I'll try to get there, if I'm checking a bag, an hour ahead of time so I can make sure that my bag gets checked to its destination. But it's up to you. You will find out what works best for you, especially after your first flight. And before you leave home, double check for that ID. Or if you're flying internationally, double check to make sure you have your passport, because you're not going anywhere without that ID or passport. Please make sure you have your form of identification. And also, the prices in the airport, you get hungry, are high. High, I tell you. So if I were you, I'll pack me a little snack in my bag. So if you got hungry before you got on an airplane, you can eat that. And maybe an empty water bottle, because most airports now have fillable stations where you can fill your water bottle up, but you just can't go through TSA with your water bottle filled. So just bring an empty water bottle, and then once you get through TSA, then you can fill up your water bottle with water. But I'm just letting you know now, the prices at the airport for water and to eat are insane. You done made it to the airport. Welcome to the chaos. So I'm entering the terminal, and the one I got dropped off at, I found out wasn't where I needed to be. I was on the international side and needed to make it to domestic. So I asked somebody and they told me I needed to get on the subway. So here's me finding the subway, which were down a set of escalators. And of course you can see the signs that tell you where to go, down this beautiful hallway, and then down some escalators again. Then finally I found the subway and got on it. Now, once I rode the subway, I got off, checked the signs, and proceeded to go to the correct terminal. Once you find your airline, so say that we're flying United, then you want to go to their kiosk and check in. I always try to have my confirmation number available, so then I can just put that in on the kiosk and go ahead and check in my bag. Or just check in and get my boarding pass. It just depends on how you did it. So I'm going to check in. If I have to pay for a bag, I'm going to pay for that bag, get my receipt for the bag, and go ahead and tag my bag, and then go up to the counter. Don't have your boarding pass already that you didn't download it before you left home, you can also get it from the kiosk, and make sure you have your boarding pass. You can either get it sent to your phone most days now, or you can get it printed out. It just depends on what you're more comfortable with. Now, the screens in the airport, you can always check them, and it will tell you what gate you need to go to, but don't get stuck on it, because gates change like the weather in Seattle. And also make sure that you're paying attention to the loudspeaker when they make announcements. If you hear your name on the loudspeaker, you either want a prize or you're running extremely late. And they don't give prizes out at the airport. Now, let's go through security. It's really not that bad. You just need to know which line you're going through. If you have TSA pre-check, make sure you go through TSA pre-check line. If not, you're going to go through the other line with everybody else. And just make sure you follow the directions. If they tell you to go this way, go that way. If they tell you go this way, go that way. Don't argue with the TSA agents, because they can really make you miss your flight. Just follow the directions and listen to what they're saying. Once you get up to the conveyor belt, they're going to tell you if you need to take your shoes off and what you may possibly need to pull out your bag. Take out everything they ask you to take out, put it in those bins they have, and just walk through the scanner. Follow directions. Now, if you have a device inside of you that may interact with the magnet in the scanner, please let them know before you go through there. And I suggest you wear easy removable shoes when you go to the airport, maybe like some Crocs or some slides or easy remove tennis shoes. I like to wear tennis shoes with socks when I go to the airport, just in case I'm running late and I have to run to my gate. Trust me, I've been there. I had to leave my bag with my parents and run to the gate because we were running late. It happens. And I also like to wear socks because sometimes you have to take your shoes off and walk through the scanner. And I don't want my bare feet on that floor. It's up to you what you like. But me, I have to have on socks. And always empty your pockets. I don't care if it's a penny in your pocket. Take it out so they won't have to pat you down. Congratulations, you have now made it through security. You are now in the safe zone and the zone where everything gets overpriced. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that your gate hasn't changed than the one that's on your boarding pass. So look at the screens and just read through them, find your airline, and then find your flight number and check the gate and make sure that you're going to the right gates. And while you're walking through your gate, you always want to pay attention to the signs at the top. What they say. When I leave TSA, and I first want to go make sure that my gate actually exists. Make sure that it says that we're going to Charlotte. I don't want to get to E4 and it says that we're going to Chicago. I want to make sure that I am going to Charlotte. Make sure it exists. And I also want to make sure where is the closest bathroom. I need to know what the bathrooms are. That's very important because I personally do not want to use the restroom on an airplane. If you ever been on a bus where they into the restroom on a bus when it's like this small, that's how it is on the airplane. Now, sometimes, yes, I've had to use the restroom on the airplane, but I'm going to try my best not to. And also, if you want to walk around the airport, just make sure you check the time that you post the board to make sure that you're at your gate in ample time because they will close that door to the airplane. And I promise you, once they close that, they're not going to open it again. So make sure that you're aware of the time and listen to the loudspeakers. They will tell you what plane is about to board or what flight is about to board or about to leave. Not every single time, but most times they will. Now that we get in line and we scan our boarding pass, we're gonna walk down the jet bridge to the plane. Just make sure when you're walking down the jet bridge that you are patient with the people in front of you because they really can't go anywhere. They can only go fast as the person that's in front of them. Now, when you get on the plane, you want to focus on reading the signs on the where you can put your baggage at to see where you should put where your seat is. So if your plane ticket says 14C, that's where you're going to sit at. So you're going to look for 14C as you walk down the aisle on the airplane. Now, if you buy a carry-on, you want to put it in the bin above you. And if you have like a backpack or your purse, you want to stick it under the seat in front of you. Because that's what it's going to ask you to do. You cannot have your bags in your lap on takeoff. And yes, you do have to put the seatbelt on. And you're thinking, why would I need to wear a seatbelt on a plane? I promise you, when you ride in a plane, sometimes you'll have this thing called turbulence. And it's like you hit a speed bump on the plane. And you don't want to hit a speed bump and you go up and the seat stays down. Now that you're buckled up and it's time for the plane to take off, a few things you need to know. 1, those flight attendants are your best friends. Be nice to them. Those are the people that give you snacks. If you need anything, they help you. If you get anxious, you can talk to them and just let them know they're anxious. They'll help calm you down. Pay attention to the seatbelt sign. If they say put your seatbelt on, put it on. Don't get to arguing with those people about you don't want to wear your seatbelt. Wear the seatbelt. And if it says it's fine to take it off, you can take it off. And if the plane gets a turn, like rumbling a little bit, it's normal. It's called turbulence. Sometimes it'll drop and your stomach will drop a little bit. It's okay. I try to think in my mind that sometimes I'm on a roller coaster or some type of fun ride to get through it. But sometimes you will have turbulence in the sky. Make sure that you're drinking water and you want to stay hydrated. At some point, depending on how long your flight is, they should come around with snacks. Actually, if you want something to drink, and it's your option if you take it or not. You may want to have some gum with you. Sometimes you'll feel like you can't hear. Your air pressure, the pressure in your ear will change. And sometimes chewing gum helps with that. It'll help your ears pop, or yarning. It'll help your ears pop as well. And if you're on a plane that gives you entertainment, you get on some planes that you can watch movies, which I love those. But if not, you may want to have something on your phone for you to watch that you've downloaded because you're supposed to put your phone in airplane mode. Or if you like me, if they don't have movies that I can watch, I like to go to sleep. Planes are a great time for me to get a good little nap. Also, take you a couple pictures. If you're sitting by the window, take a couple pictures of what you see outside the plane. Especially if it's your first time, you want to document it. And just have a little fun. Take some deep breaths. I promise you it's going to be okay. Taking off and landing is probably one of my favorite parts of flying. Just knowing that you're in this metal tube flying through the air that gets you there way faster than the car. So I just like being there watching it and watching the plane go super, super fast. And then all of a sudden, you're no longer on the ground. You're in the air. So you can see the plane right now going up in the air. And then you start seeing some beautiful scenes from the city you took off from, which is priceless to me. And if you're on one of those planes that have a TV, sometimes you can check out where you are in the world, where your current flight is, and where you're going. You can see the flight path of the plane that you're on. Now it's getting to the point that you know that y'all getting closer and closer to the ground. That means you're about to land. When you land, there's going to be a little bump, okay? It's going to be a little bump. You're going to be going a little fast, and then they'll press the brakes, and you will slow down. If you need to, close your eyes. Me, I like to see what's going on, so I'm watching. But you don't have to. You can close your eyes, take a couple deep breaths. Before you know it, you're on the ground, and everything's fine. And you want to stay seated with your seatbelt on. Just because you landed doesn't mean that everything's okay. They have to drive the plane all the way back up to the gate on whatever airport that you landed. So keep your seatbelt on, just in case. And for some reason, as soon as they get to the gate, everybody stands up as if you can get off the plane. Not sure why people do that. Unless you're trying to stretch your leg, but still you have to stand up for a long time waiting for the people in front of you to get off the plane. And sometimes if you sign up for the alerts with your airline, whatever airline that you're riding with, they'll send you alerts about what's going on with your bag and once you land, where to find your bags. You get off the plane, then what you want to focus on is finding out how to get to baggage claim. So make sure that you're reading all the signs to get towards baggage claim and know which carousel to get your bag off of. And sometimes they drop you off in New York and you got to walk all the way to California. Also, when I have a long way to walk, I try to look for those little walking pads that help you walk a little faster. So I get on these and I'll walk. You don't have to, but I just find it good for entertainment as I take the long walk to baggage claim. Some of these airports are very big with very long hallways. But the good thing is you get to see a lot, experience a lot, and get your steps in before you get to baggage claim. And don't panic. Bags do take time sometimes. Sometimes, depending on, especially if you're at those bigger airports, it may take a while for your bag to come around on that carousel. But once you get your bag, go ahead and grab it and make sure you know how you're getting out the airport. Is somebody picking you up? Are you catching an Uber? Read the signs. It'll tell you, okay, you can go out this way, or if you're trying to do ride share, it'll tell you which way to go. If in doubt, ask somebody who works there. Just ask nicely. They should be glad to help you. And that's it. You survived your first flight. You made it. Flying is a process, not a mystery. The more you do it, the easier it gets. If this video helped you, give it a like. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. If you would like to see more videos on just traveling in general or flying, please let me know in the comments. And if you know somebody who's planning on booking a flight soon and they've never flown before, share this video with them. Y'all got it. And remember, when you get to the airport, act like you know what you're doing. Nobody else knows this is your first flight. Follow suit. Thank you for watching. I hope your first flight goes well. And you already know. Until next time.